I hate Moon, and I get it. It's not a bad map. If I'm gonna be objective, it's a solid map and definitely one of the most ambitious maps Treyarch has ever created. For me, I just find it also one of the most frustrating maps because Moon is the kind of map that likes to kick you when you're down. Nothing is worse than running through a door and then running into everybody's favorite astronaut. Or maybe you're not paying attention and accidentally blow out the glass in a room and the widow's wine goes off too close to a window and then suddenly an entire room is ruined for the entire length of the game. Or perhaps you're just busy at the moment or in a tight spot and then the excavator comes down, and if you don't put down everything you're doing and stop that excavator, then more rooms are ruined for an entire game. And worse off, if you go down and lose Jug, then you have to wait a whole round for the teleporter to open up, and then when you finally get back to Earth and you just see Speed Cola there of all perks, it's frustrating, and there's nothing I hate more than seeing that stupid Speed Cola machine when I'm teleporting back to Earth. My point is that Moon loves to kick you when you're down and punish you, and quite literally for the entire game. So I'm not a big fan of this map. For some reason though, people play this map on end, and they will play for 70 hours in pursuit of world records, which is what we'll be looking at today. Welcome to another episode of World Record Runs, How It's Done, where we take a look at high round world records in Call of Duty Zombies. In this series, we take a deep dive into various records to see how they're pulling it off and hopefully become better zombie players along the way and gain new insights into Call of Duty Zombies. Before we jump into things, I want to mention that this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN, which is a virtual private network. This means it will secure your digital life by encrypting your personal information as you surf the web and help protect your identity from data thieves. More importantly though, this will allow you to browse other countries' Netflix, and this is the killer feature, let me tell ya. After having lived in Berlin last summer, I quickly discovered that German Netflix is way better than the shit we got over here. They got most of the Marvel movies and every episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So if you're not using Surfshark right now to binge every episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on German Netflix, then what the hell are you doing with your life right now? Go right now, check out the first link in the description and try Surfshark today. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee policy, so there is no risk. Use the code JJ25 to get 85% off for 3 months. So go today, get Surfshark VPN, and join me and start binging The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on German Netflix. Let's jump into the video though. We're going to be kicking things off with Moon on the original Black Ops 1. And what's interesting about Black Ops 1 Moon is that people will sometimes break it into two categories. You have with or without astronaut. The astronaut gets pretty annoying and becomes quite difficult to kill in the high rounds, so what many players will do is trap him in Tunnel 6 using the excavator. Games in which he's trapped are considered a without astronaut run. Some players though will just deal with him and kill him with QEDs in the late rounds, and those runs are considered with astronaut runs. Trapping him in Tunnel 6 is probably not something a Treyarch ever intended. However, it's something that can occur naturally in a game. So for many reasons, many people consider games without astronauts to also count towards world records and be considered legit. With that said, the solo record for Moon right now is held by Phoenix, who was able to reach an astonishing round 222 on Moon. And if you've been following with the series so far, Phoenix has been featured in a number of videos so far. So today I figured I would bring on Phoenix to join me for this video and get some insight into the mind of one of the greatest zombies players the community has ever seen. So Phoenix, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem.
So you hit 222 on Moon. Tell me, how long did the game take?
The game lasted for 76.5 hours.
When people see that the games last for 70 hours plus, they look at it and they go like, how does somebody do that? Where does like the motivation come for playing a game for that long?
Well, basically it really depends. People are just playing to spend time sometime. A lot of players today on BO1 play to push the map and push the records.
Now when you're playing for 76 hours, is it broken up into like several 2 to 3 hour chunks, or do you just grind out like 10-20 hours at a time and then take a break?
It really depends also on the players. I'm the kind of player that is gonna be restarting for a long time, and then when I get a game going, I'll just play the shit out of it until I get to some high rounds, till like, I don't know, 130. Then I'll just keep playing until I get 150, then insta-kill rounds. But usually I play from 5 to 15 hours in a row until I get satisfied with the run I reach.
So let's talk a little bit of the strategy. What exactly is the strategy that you're running on Moon?
The strategy is pretty straightforward actually. You just stay in the same room the whole game. You start by the hole in the first room. Whenever the power is on, there is a hole open in the first room. Then you'll just walk slowly to the corner next to the door, which is close to the M14, but still in the spawn room. And you will just shoot the wave gun whenever both of the holes coming out of the windows will be merged, and you'll just shoot the wave gun at this moment, and you'll kill like I would say between 15 to 20 zombies, and then you will be able to use the zap guns to kill the remaining zombies. Basically, how efficient you are with the strategy really depends on how you use the zap guns. You have to be as accurate as possible, and also make sure that the ammos you're using will be synced up with the moment you'll reach 4/0 with your wave gun ammos. The goal on Moon is always to be at 0/0/0 with the zap guns whenever you reach 4/0 with the wave gun. As soon as you run out of ammos with the wave gun, you will use your Gershes to get the drop. If you don't get a drop though, because that can happen, you can still hack all the box locations so the box doesn't move anymore, and you can just trade your Gershes for QEDs. Maybe use the QEDs if you want, but you still have to trade the QEDs for Gershes.
Do you find that you're trading out the wave gun a lot less?
So sometimes in the early rounds you'll be trading the wave gun because it's faster. The main reason behind that is if you put the stats next to each other, the wave gun is only one trade. You're trading only one weapon. In the early rounds, you don't need a lot of drops, so you can just trade a wave gun, empty the wave gun while you're trading, and still be able to get the QDs and Gershes back without even wasting time, because you will only do one trade. In late rounds, you'll trade the Gershes with QDs, and maybe even sometimes, even if you get the QDs, you won't use them, so you avoid getting multiple drops. In very late game, you will trade the wave gun before going to No Man's Land, so you can get a full wave gun and then a full papped wave gun without needing a single drop. And that's very important because in late rounds you want to optimize as much as you can your drops.
So let's jump into a little bit of like the tips and the tricks and the insight that really only I feel like players such as yourself quite know. Is there anything that like your average zombie player wouldn't even be aware of when it comes to Moon?
On most zombie maps you'll just have a limit of 4 drops around. On Moon you can get up to 8 drops. You can just get all of your 4 drops, go to No Man's Land. This will just reset the drops you get. You can get up to 8 drops around. So that's very important in very high rounds, because on like 200 you'll maybe need 6 or 7 drops to finish the round. Also, in later rounds you want to avoid getting like 2 or 3 drops out of a single Gersh, because that means out of your 8 drops you'll only use like 4 or 5 drops and not be as efficient as you would be if you had all of your drops. So to make sure you only get 1 drop in each Gersh, you can just throw your Gersh and use your game sound to hear as soon as you get a drop out of the Gersh, you shoot the wave gun so you avoid getting more drops. That's it for the tricks.
So you mentioned that you reset a lot, especially when you're trying to get yourself set up. So what goes into getting yourself set up?
So basically this Moon setup is based on 2 things: box setup and excavator. I would just restart until I get to the point where I get wave gun and Gersh from the first box. That way I don't get fire sales. You also don't want carpenters in the first room, so that way you only have 5 drops per cycle. And also you would restart if you don't get excavator soon enough. Like let's say if you get by on like round 40, then you can lose a lot of time because you need to get the astronauts to spawn in Tunnel 6. So yeah, that's actually a lot of things to restart for on Moon.
When it comes to resetting on Moon, is there anything that's being done to delay the reset timer?
There's actually a lot of things. Basically, just like on any map, you want to get rid of QR machine. You'll also activate the historic sound, which will remove 3 entities. And you will also pick up the first tape of the map and the wire, which will remove 2 entities. You can also do the very first Easter egg step with, Simon's game with the colors. Whenever the screens are on, they all count as entities. So the time saved by doing that is very hard to estimate, but I think it's still worth it because you'll spend less than 30 seconds doing it.
Yeah, it pays off. So when it comes to the future of Moon, where do you see it going? Do you think people are going to go even higher, or what?
Well, I don't really see Moon being beaten in the upcoming years. The main thing about Moon was the unknown error we keep getting in the past years. So yeah, since we found that, Moon has been pushed to reset pretty easily. And I've been playing Moon for a very long time, and I haven't seen anyone getting close to around 215 time-wise, even with like extended reset and everything. So 222 is very far away, I would say, and considering the rounds are about 1 hour and 10 minutes and insta-kill rounds are about 40 minutes, at this point I would say it's very hard to beat.
So something we forgot to touch on was co-op. The record right now is 156 by Crave in Puerto Rico, and I know you recently made an attempt on co-op. Would you be able to talk about that a bit?
So basically the previous co-op record was 151 by Kebab and me, and then Crave and Puerto Rico out of nowhere got 156, and actually they quit this game because they had a triple drop which just ruined the entire game. The triple drop means they had to trade a wave gun and like start the next round with a non-papped wave gun and get 4 drops and still trade the wave gun a few times and everything, which is just pain in the ass to deal with. And actually they were only 67 to 68 hours in the game, so that means insta-kill rounds are reachable on Moon. I played a Moon game with Kebab until 148 where Kebab had a crash, but yeah, insta-kill rounds are actually very reachable. In the future I'm pretty sure we will see some insta-kill rounds.
I think that wraps up all of my questions. Where can people find you?
Most of the time I'm just streaming on Twitch, but people can also reach me on Twitter.
I'll make sure to have both in the description. I would recommend you guys check it out. There's very few people that manage to consistently get as many records as Ph3NiX. He's absolutely one of the top zombie players out there right now and is doing amazing stuff and pushing new limits to Call of Duty Zombies. So thanks, Ph3NiX, for jumping on the video today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Another thing that is very important to note when it comes to really any high round run is insta-kill rounds. And what they're doing in insta-kill rounds is camping with the M14. You use a Pack-a-Punch M14 and stand in the hole in the floor within the starting room. The position here is very important because you're able to kill the zombies coming out of the windows, but you're also able to kill the zombies which will jump out of the hole. And whenever you run out of ammo, what you need to do is run out and grab some ammo and then fight your way back to the hole, which is again where you're camping. A nice little move players will do is hack the wall buy so that Pack-a-Punch ammo is only $250 rather than $4,500, which, I mean, talk about a hell of a bargain in this economy. And what they'll also do is a double buy. This is when you buy ammo twice. That way you get your full ammo, but then you also get an extra magazine in your gun. This is the same effect as reloading before a max ammo. Now, how efficient you are during insta-kill rounds really depends on how accurate you are. This is of course aided with the use of a mouse and keyboard. Players will also keep a close eye out for drops during insta-kill rounds. That way they will find a drop, hack it, and then have a full wave gun to take them into the next round. It's very important when you're playing Moon to be as efficient with your drops as possible. And that for the most part sums up insta-kill rounds. Let's now move on to Moon in Black Ops 3 Zombies. At the time, only 5 people in the world had been able to reach 255 on Moon. This list includes Yezi, KXG, Ashy, OJumpy, and Crash My Bandicoot. Ashy was the first person in the world to reach 255 on Moon. But of these players, the game that I find the most interesting is that of Crash My Bandicoot when he reached 255 without Gobblegums and had the fastest 255 in the world. So Yezi, KXG, and Ashi, when they played their games, they reached 255 on average in about 60 hours. Jumpy was able to do it in 55 hours, but then Crash My Bandicoot comes along, and not only was he playing without Gobblegums, which can significantly speed up a game when you do play with Gobblegums, but he was able to beat Jumpy's time by 20 minutes, which I think is really impressive and a testimony to efficiency. Now with that said, let's look at the strategy to reach 255. The main strategy on Moon boils down to you running in Tunnel 11 rather than in the spawn like everybody does in Black Ops, which I feel like most of you would find surprising considering that I think players rarely go to Tunnel 11. Personally, I don't really think twice about Tunnel 11. I find it a really difficult place to run and a difficult place to survive. However, Tunnel 11 does have some of the fastest strategies in all of Moon. What you're doing is staying in this part of Tunnel 11 closest to the power, but you're keeping that door that would lead to the spawn shut. It's within this room that you're training slowly and picking off zombies with alternate ammo types. The train you run is shaped like an X or perhaps a figure 8, and all the spawns will be on the cave side of that room, so you have to avoid going into the areas over there and run the following shape of a figure 8 or an X between both sides of the room. It's with this basic shape that you run and pick off the zombies with your alternate ammo type. You'll usually use a Kuda with dead wire to kill the bulk of the zombies, and then your mule kick weapon will be turned. The tricky part is that you don't really have a good choice for your turned weapon that's relatively close to you for you to be able to buy ammo. So you'll see many players running with weapons that just have high mobility and a lot of ammo from the box, like the Weevil, so shout out to the Weevil gang. Another option is to run a KN-44 with turned, but getting ammo is a bit of a hike. The only issue when surviving in this room is that I would call this train unstable, especially when it is very irregular where the zombies die. For this reason, you need to be quick on your feet and be ready to kill the remaining zombies with the wave gun to save your skin if you ever feel your train is breaking down. When it comes to the astronaut on this map, you don't really have a way to trap him like you do in Black Ops, so you just gotta deal with him. What's nice though is you don't have to rely on trading out QEDs, you can use alternate ammo types to take him out. One thing players have discovered though is that between rounds 150 and 170, for some reason there's a chance you'll be able to insta-kill him. And then after 170, he'll always be an insta-kill, which is real nice. A trick players will do though is throw trip mines into the stairwell to power to either hear the astronaut coming when he sets off a trip mine or insta-kill him. One way players will speed up their run is by taking advantage of Gobblegums. There are obviously beneficial Gobblegums like Lucky Crit, but there are also particularly helpful Gobblegums like Alchemical, because you can stand in this window and then with Alchemical spam the way gun. And by standing right here, you'll have incredibly fast spawns and move through hundreds of zombies over the course of this single Gobblegum's life. It's wild how effective this strategy is because you're neither moving nor aiming and you're just plowing through the hordes. Like in Black Ops 1, one of the keys to playing Moon efficiently is by being as efficient as possible with your drops and making sure you're hacking almost every single drop you receive and trying to avoid getting things like triple drops. And one of the ways players will make sure that they can be efficient, and this is especially true when you're hacking drops in a room like this because it can get tricky, is through Gershes. With Gershes, you will run the risk of spawning another drop, so what players will do is throw their Gershes out of the room, and this won't exactly pull in the zombies to kill them, but instead make them freeze in place, and then you go and hack the drop. That's one thing players will do to try and be more efficient and make sure that they're avoiding double drops while also being safe enough to hack their drops. It sounds like a lot, but this level of efficiency is what allowed Crash to set the world record for the fastest 255 on Moon while also not using Gobblegums. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a look at world record runs on Moon. If you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a like, possibly subscribe for more. We're going to be continuing to cover world records in zombies, so if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy the next one. Have a wonderful day, and bye.